We're in Newfound Gap today, starting the AT out to Dry Sluice, and then we'll go down Dry Sluice to Grassy Branch and come out Kephart Prong. This is a busy spot this morning.
We got both today.
See, I'm glad this is here, breaking the wind. Hello.
Hey.
Step to one side, Ken. Way there.
I think I'll do it. We've gone just under half a mile and climbing pretty steady. The first 2 miles of the AT, when you leave Newfound Gap going east, you're going to climb 1,000 feet. So be prepared for that.
This is where you slow down and take it all in. Woo! My thing isn't making a sound. We're 4,948 feet.
Already?
Yep. We've gained 691. Gone 1.4 miles. What's your say, Terry? Are we sitting in sync?
Yep.
Yeah. It's like I almost start laughing at myself.
Because it takes less effort to smile than
Does it? I thought it took more effort. Terry, that's like our seat ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what we're laying on?
That's for sleeping in the shelters.
Okay. For a young guy, that's for sleeping in the shelter.
One of the perils of winter hiking is ice on the trail. We all normally would have micro spikes with us, but it's late enough in the year that none of us have them in our packs today. Luckily, so far we haven't needed. The ice has been fairly sporadic and easy to get around.
There's a lot of ice up here. Chance.
At 1.6 miles, you'll come to a side trail to the right. This is right before Sweat Heifer. You're going to want to come up here and get a look into the North Carolina mountains. We're at 1.7 miles and we come to the first intersection, which is the Sweat Heifer Creek Trail, which is currently closed due to a landslide. And that happened in March of 2019 because of some heavy rains we had here. Our next goal is the Boulevard Trail, and we'll be there in about 20 minutes. We're just over 2 miles now, starting the next little bit of climb. Got a pretty good view. Just those trees right there is Klingman's Dome. You got the road down below is 441, and then Thomas Divide, and about 200 more feet to go up this hill. We're at 2.5 miles, and we finally gapped out, and we got snow up here. We're somewhere around, anybody know what altitude we're at here? 5,800 maybe?
We're at 4948.
Oh,
Oh wait.
gotta be above that.
6026.
6,000 feet. Here's more snow. And we will be downhill now. There's just a little bit of up right before Charlie's Bunion. And then when we turn on the dry sluice, we'll have a about a 350 to 400 foot climb there. We should be done climbing for the day then. We're at 2.7 miles now, and we're coming up on the intersection with the Boulevard Trail. And if you just happen to be out going to Charlie's Bunion or maybe Ice Water Shelter, then a good hike to do is to go out to the jump off, which is a half mile from here, 3/10 of a mile to the trail, and 2/10 of a mile up the trail. It's a pretty good climb, but well worth it. You're about 500 feet above the Bunion, looking down on it, and it's a beautiful view of the Porters Creek Valley. But our destination is another mile, 1.7 this way. So off we go. At 3 miles, we come to the Ice Water Springs shelter. Let's see if there's any through hikers left. It's like March 28th, 2019. Tarps are still up. And there's where we're headed, right there. At 3.1 miles from the trailhead, you'll come to this little pipe, and this is the spring for Ice Water Springs shelter. I just put 64 ounces in a bag, and we all refilled our water here. Kind of easy to walk right by this and not even realize this is it, though.
Oh, sorry. Well, that can be one of those out.
Howdy.
Recording the whole thing?
Not all of it, no, just a few parts.
Smoky Mountain. Hold on now. I think I
3.5 miles.
I think right there's
Right
the
there.
honey, that's going up to the
Greenbrier
resort
Pinnacle.
Right
And behind
It
it,
is.
you can see Cobley Knob.
there. Because it goes up into the mountain like that.
What's the name of the mountain
Unless
that's
that's
behind you
Cobley Knob.
guys right there?
Webb's.
No, the big mountain back there.
Oh, that's
Starts with an E, right?
it's the one that has
English?
the water in it. English.
English Mountain.
water.
We're looking down into the Porter's Creek watershed. This is Lester Prong over here. At 4 miles, you come to the side trail that goes to Charlie's Bunyan. We're actually going to climb up on top of it first and then come back. Should jump off. Over here is the scar on the Boulevard Trail, just under Rural Point. Down below us, you can see the Tourist Bunyan. And then this ridge behind us is what we'll be climbing in about a half an hour. Alright, after a short break on top of the Bunyan, we're back on the AT, and we have about 0.4 miles till we intersect the dry Sluice trail. We're going to have a pretty good climb there of 350 to 400 feet, and we're only going to be on that trail for about 1.3 miles, and then we're going to turn down Grassy Branch.
Like how you expected to see it back in the day.
We're standing in front of the real Charlie's Bunyan. I'm kind of looking back to the south at the Thomas Divide and down into the Kephart Prong in the Smoky Mountains. The real Charlie's Bunyan is up this little trail right here. We're at about 4.5 miles now. We come to the AT intersection with dry sluice, and now we got to climb. 1.3 to our next trail, and about
6 to Kephart Shelter.
About 6 miles to the road. So we've been climbing for 1500s on dry sluice. And we have just a little bit of an opening to our left where you can kind of see the AT over there and the saw teeth right over here. Sorry. There you go. And then just ahead on the left, you can see False Gap. More of the saw teeth over there. We're at 5.2 miles and the trail has leveled, and it is so beautiful up here. Now, if you came any time other than the winter, it would be leafed out and you really wouldn't have any view. But we got views of Icewater Springs, which I'll post a picture of, and I've seen 441 a couple of times. We're 0.8 of a mile now from the Grassy branch trail. So at this point, we're about halfway through our hike.
Yeah, these views are going to, like this, are going to start disappearing. I know where we go. So we are.
Really opened up. We're about a half a mile from the Grassy branch intersection. And we're at 1.3 miles, coming up to the trail intersection as advertised. Today we take Grassy branch down, but at some other
Dry
point.
sluice continues.
So far the top of Grassy branch has been this deep little valley in the trail here. There's where we came from, on the dry sluice trail. Grassy Branch has been a beautiful trail. We're only 4/10 of a mile down. We're really going slow because there's so many beautiful things to look at.
Grassy Branch. Smoky Mountains.
This will be a tough trail coming up.
So what's the ridge in front of us?
It's Mount Kephart.
The whole thing?
Yeah, that's where the shelter, ice water spring shelter was. Miles down the Grassy Branch Trail, and we're just getting a view of a waterfall in front of us. We're at 1.5 miles from the trailhead at Dry Sluice.
remember where we saw it up there, Tom?
Yep, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're at 1.8 miles, coming up to another really nice water feature. Down there we go. We're about 4/10 above the shelter now at Kephart Prong. This has been a fantastic trail, Grassy branch, big hit. Of course, it's I don't know, like maybe the first week of spring. Pretty warm day today. Now we're about a quarter mile above the shelter, and we have this beautiful mossy boulder field. Pretty cool, actually. This trail's kind of doing some funky turns here. There's the shelter right below us. I don't know if you can see it through there or not. We got 2 miles to go once we get there. We'll have to refill our water, take a short break.
Let me in the shelter.
Wow. We must be in the city.
Yeah, you made it.
We made it to
We're in
the
the
nearest
city.
city, huh? My goodness.
All the people are here.
Alright, leaving the shelter now. We're going to head down the Kephart Prong, or the Kephart Prong Trail, and we got about 2 miles to go. Gentle grade. Waterfall, 6/10 of a mile down from the shelter. Nine-tenths of a mile now from the trailhead at 441, and starting to see a lot of railroad artifacts. We're just about back to the road now. We got maybe 2/10 of a mile or so to go. And we're entering the old CCC camp area. And over here, on my left, is a big chimney. From the CCC camp. Over here is the water fountain.
Here's the water fountain.
And then right in front of me is the clock tower. There would have been a sign here that said which CCC camp this was. So we're at 10.7 miles and just finishing up at the trailhead. What a great walk today.